Hello everyone and welcome back to ZeldaSpeedRuns and our coverage of the A Link to the Past Randomizer Crosskeys tournament. We've got a Swiss round run match for y'all today with werfjig versus Linlinlin, and commentating today will be DaceCloud and Will We See. Why don't you two take it away?
Alright, thank you, George. Well, everybody, welcome on in. It's another one of these Crosskeys races. We've been sitting here for this past week. We're getting this tournament back underway here, and we got a great match today. We got the champion of last year's Crosskeys tournament.
Oh my, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just completely messed up everything I set up first. I forgot to crop and I forgot to reset the timer. Sorry to interrupt here.
It's okay there. So yeah, we've got the champion of last year's tournament there, Linlinlin, going up against werfjig, another great runner on his own. Will, how you doing there, bud, today?
Oh, we're doing good. I am looking forward to this matchup. Obviously, it's great to see Lin here defending his title from last year, going for that Super Furaime role. And werfjig is a very worthy competitor as we get started here. Looks like we got a split start, both of them finding big 20s at their respective starting locations.
Right, nothing too interesting there. Kind of interested to see exactly what... Oh, so we've got a sanctuary in the pyramid today, so that means your back of escape is going to be locked behind GT, so that's both good to know and kind of awkward, as it looks like Lin's going for the early Houlihan play here. He's fake flippering his way up to the witch's hut and then probably will be jumping back across.
Yeah, that's what I would expect here. Werf grabs his heart container off of the pyramid ledge there and decides it's a little too early for bunny walking here, so see where he decides to go, if he decides to follow suit here with the Houlihan play. Looks like he's going to go east here instead, though.
I'm trying to figure out exactly how early is too early for bunny walking here. That doesn't sound like something I would know. But, so let's move on down here. We're going to check out this bottom thing. He's going to start killing a bunch of these enemies, trying to see if he can get a bomb drop here. Like, one of the early things you need to figure out when you're doing Crosskeys is where the heck all the bombs are. Because you might find something like Lin has found here in the well. He's going to find a whole bunch of keys, but he's hoping that this last chest has a bomb. It does not for him, unfortunately, but he's got a book and a couple of keys and a map to Swamp Palace.
Yeah, so he'll have to make a return trip over there to actually get that last item out of the well there. Meanwhile, Werf not having much luck here with the first two entrances he's checking here, and did not get any bomb drops from the 3 different prize packs that were available to him there on the north of Hylia. He also saw 3 bombs on the Hylia Island that I don't expect that we'll come back and pick up at any time.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you see 3 bombs there, you're just going to throw that one away. Looks like we're on the big pack over there for the soldiers, and we have now found ourselves GT over on Werf's side. This is an interesting location. We can't do pretty much anything with it right now outside of get these 2 first chests here. If you want to go, you can go peek at the torch, but we've got the big key to Misery Mire and the Quake Medallion.
Yeah, so, not amazing value here, since obviously we don't have, even if we find Mire, we don't have any way into it right now, and Quake is not, usually super useful in entrance mode either, but still good to find that GT early, so that once we start finding things like the hammer or King of Samaria, we know we can come back here and go for the bevy of items down in the basement there.
Yeah, definitely. And now, looks like Werf is going to finally make his way over to the Kakariko area here, because Kakariko, it's got pretty much the most dense collection of entrances in the game here, and even better, kind of, in a way here, you're going to be able to farm these 50-50 bomb drops here, just to see if exactly, because you're going to need a couple of them eventually, and you're going to want to try to get them as quickly as possible. As our tree pull there on Lin's side, looks like that was just 5 rupees there. Is Werf deciding he wants one more bomb at least.
Yeah. I didn't see whether Lin killed enough enemies for that to be tier 1 or tier 2 for the tree pull there. But yeah, Werf is going to take his 2 bombs and head on over to Kakariko here. So we'll see if he gets anything from these south entrances first. Hopefully start finding something that'll open the seat up.
Tree poles are terrible. Looks like I'm not sure if that was tier 3 was the blue rupees, and the tier 1 being just the green rupees there, as Lin finding Eastern Palace there, sitting at Hyrule Castle, deciding that, you know what, it's too early, I don't want to deal with this right now. I mean, as we both know, there's a huge debate about what you do when you find an early Eastern Palace like that. And Lin deciding he doesn't want any part of it.
Yeah, so I certainly respect that play. There's our Hyrule Castle key, so that unlocks the... I mean, obviously, once you have the lamp, then it's fully in logic, but it does unlock the items in Back of Escape for us without having to go all the way through killing Aga 2 here. So that is at least a bit of a relief for Lin, and hopefully for Werf when he finds it as well, that there won't have to be any kind of save scumming or anything like that once they start getting to explore Hyrule Castle.
Yeah, that's kind of a nice thing to do there. You know that basically everything in Hyrule Castle automatically goes into logic, pretty much. Of course, once you get a lamp. As Lin has found out the bad news that, hey, yeah, there's that sanctuary is going to be in the pyramid today, so go check the pyramid, find out it's not the Moon Pearl, and then you kind of continue on with the rest of the seed here. As Werf's down to a single bomb already. Gonna start hoping to find something good here, as we found a dark room of some sort of order.
Right, yeah, Werf did not take the time to try and explore it, which is not the easiest thing to do when you don't have any sort of items to use. He's not had good luck with the 50-50 bomb spot. He tried a couple times to get that over near the Bobble Hut and came up empty both times. Looks like he's going to spend his last bomb here to discover the 3 items in the back of Sahasrar's hut, as we see that Palace of Darkness is our green pendant today. He's going to get a refund on his bombs and other assorted fill items, basically.
You know, I mean, the extra bombs at this point, that's a good thing.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you certainly don't scoff your nose at those, especially when you were on 0 bombs to open up that wall.
Yeah, definitely. And it looked like that race game's just a heart piece. So that's another thing we don't have to worry about right now, is we're still kind of looking for one of the big items here. We're kind of missing one of the, I kind of call it, ooh, there's a big key sitting locked behind the hammer there. In the lumberjack thing there that's at the magic bad drop in, because this is entrance and it gets confusing to list exactly where things are, as money problems are now solved though, because at the Smith's hut, Werf goes ahead and finds himself a big 300. So that'll take care of Bottle Vendor, that'll take care of half the way to Zora money and Kiki money, and if you end up finding chess game and stuff like that, a big 300 early is a good thing to find. And, well, there was the laser eye entrance of a Turtle Rock there, sitting at the right side Snitch's hut.
Yeah, that's not an appealing option when you don't have any weaponry at all right now. But eventually, I imagine they will come back. Both of our runners will come back to that. At least get the Chain Chomp's chest that is in logic there, and then maybe also go ahead and take the Pokey Key and go ahead and do the big key chest as well. As we see Agina Cave here. And what are we going to get from this? Just a heart piece. So still no real progression opening up so far in Kakariko.
I think Lin went through the dark room, and yeah, that was the Death Mountain Ascent Cave, so he just brute forced that. He's now up on the mountain, getting rewarded early with a big key to Eastern Palace, so not going into Eastern early, really paying off for him, and we have now found the pig. He's sitting in the well location there in Kakariko, so that's a nice easy one if we ever get a flute.
Yeah, if Lin can manage to dodge the evil cabbages up here on the mountain, then he will have a good advantage here in getting to explore all of this early, as well as getting that Eastern big key. If we find a bow somewhere early on, as Werf is exploring Thieves Town at this point, but if we find an early bow, then Lin already has that knowledge of where Eastern is and can go back and fully clear it here early in the seed.
Yeah, there's all sorts of things that we're still looking for. I mean, to kind of go back, I mean, biggest thing that we need to find, probably the most important thing to find early, is the pearl, because until we find that, which can be in all sorts of really ridiculous locations, if you go through a connector and you end up in the dark world, you'll be in your bunny form, and then there's not a whole lot you can do.
Yeah.
Gloves are nice also. Boots are always appreciated.
Mirror is definitely one that also can be used for a lot of different shenanigans here at entrance. One other thing that it can be used for is to get in through the bottom entrance of Paradox Cave, which Lynn discovered up on the left side of Spectacle Rock Cave on the mountain there. So if he finds the mirror, then he'll be able to go in there and get those 7 items, and then probably bomb jump over and explore those connectors as well.
He could also get that big key that we saw on top of Spec Rock up there. So there's mirror is 100% going to be required today. So Lynn's going to climb up the mountain again as Werf goes in and finds the fake Sasharala. Broccoli Boy. I don't know what we want to call him there.
That's a good name for him, I think. We'll
Broccoli
see.
Boy.
Yeah. Werf finds the inside of the bombable hut here, north of Kakariko, while Lynn gets a piece of heart from the Spectral Rock Cave. Is going to try and bomb jump over to see what the middle entrance is here. And this bomb jump is not in logic. You're expected to be able to find this middle entrance by itself, but then you can drop down to the other exit out of this cave, and that is in logic. So we see that goes to the Hammerlock shop in the Village of Outcasts. And we'll continue on following this one out and see where it goes as well.
See if the mini Moldorms play nice enough for him to be able to sneak down there. Should, with 4 hearts, be able to get down there. Yeah, it doesn't even take a hit. These Moldorms are just completely blind. We're finding the useless fairy there down at the that one bush crab just being right in the entrance. But finds his flippers at the very top of the Lost Woods there in kind of the gambling game up there. So that's a nice little find there. Now, he did not Houlihan, so this is going to be a little bit of hopefully he'll find another big 300 or some other source of money, because he's not going to be easily able to get up to 500 now.
Yeah, I do believe that he got 300 out of, I think it was Thieves Town that showed up in. So I think, at least for the early game, I think he's in decent shape. And, hopefully he'll be able to find it before he, manages to make his way over to Zora area and try and get that. As we see connector over to the Dark Death Mountain area on the east side from the Lumberjack Hut, and then nothing doing over there in the other entrance. So Werf will save and quit.
Yeah, our old man cave there, one of our spawn points, looks like the back of it is going to put you on top of Bumper Cave, which at the moment is not the best. If you really want to, you can go ahead and you can sequence break yourself into over into the Skull Woods area there. That's one of my personal favorites, but Lynn deciding not to do that as he just walked up, found Cave 45 with a key in it, but since he's a bunny, could not get that right now, so he's going to just kind of file that away for something I need to do later.
Yeah. Lynn does find the upgrade fairy in the cave south of Link's house there. Goes ahead and gets the 15 bomb upgrade, which is nice for early routing, especially being able to have just that assurance of having bombs and having plenty of them no matter what you kind of run into on the way. As he now goes into GT for the first time as well, while Werf will go back to the well for the first time, and we will see what is in the back of the well here that Lynn could not get earlier. So Blue Mail early is nice in some ways and not nice in others, because until you find that mirror, especially in Crosskeys, you may be doing a lot more death warping out of dungeons than you might in a normal seed. So you're not going to turn your nose at that, especially being still at 4 hearts like Werf is, but it can be a little bit of an annoyance if you continue collecting hearts without finding that mirror early on.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the thing there. You're happy to see that at the same time, but you start immediately praying that mirror shows up, because if you can't find that mirror there, yeah, all of a sudden, exactly like you said, those death warps start just taking longer and longer, and at some point you start deciding whether or not you just want to save and quit over doing death warps, and it's just it can get real messy here. As looks like the back of the sanctuary entrance today is going to have just the Uncle drop, not really anything too exciting there. It looked like we had a Misery Mire key, which, I mean, 1 is good, 2 is nothing, 3 starts making you question whether or not something's fire locked in Misery Mire.
Right. It does, you know, finding those 2 keys plus the big key early does give the impression that we might be seeing an early Misery Mire, but it could just be, you know, without Hook or, you know, Boots showing up. But that's all going to be a moot point for the early game, at least.
Definitely, as we're slowly making our way through basically I call them, I guess, the Sphere Zero entrances here, trying to figure out exactly where this game wants us to go right now. As Lynn's gone ahead, he found the bomb shop there. Now, he told us that our Misery Mire and Turtle Rock are our red crystals today, which means we're going to need a whole lot of items. That's Fire Rod, Ice Rod, and Cane of Samaria 100% required for this seed. Not always the best thing.
But it is good to have that information early on as well, so you're not you're not wondering if you're going to be having an Ice Rod hunt. You at least know you're going to be having an Ice Rod hunt at some point.
Yeah, exactly. It's just one of those, you're like, okay, so when is that thing going to turn up? Well, let's try the chicken hut. Nope, that's just going to be a piece of heart. And then Lynn's going to make his way back into Kakariko there. He's going to finish off the entrances that he kind of left behind when he went ahead and found that the Death Mountain connector.
Yeah, so we're going to see Lynn picking up some of the, clearing out some of the entrances that we've already seen from werfjig's side as he goes over and explores. We just saw him go into the Ice Palace entrance there, and now he's going to head over and go ahead and check the Ice Rod area here. Only going to be able to get 2 of these entrances without having any gloves so far, but we will be able to see what is in Ice Rod Cave and the fairy cave that's attached to it here.
He's got to be careful there. Those crabs will do a heart of damage too. Oh, that's a terrible thing to find right there.
It was a great thing to find, except when you have 3 bombs.
Exactly, yeah. So now we're going to hope that there's a shop next door, and nope. So Werf decided not to pick up the extra bombs at the upgrade ferry there early, so now he's going to try this. It's possible. It's hard, because he's going to have to hit both of the mini Moldorms on the left side with this bomb. They're playing nice for him, and he gets it done. Well done over there on Werf's side.
Hopefully he gets something that makes that play worth it, because that was some big gaming right there.
How about a compass to Desert Palace? Is a compass to Desert Palace good?
Well, the mushroom is an interesting one. Burna is an interesting one. And we got a castle tower key, which we did see up on the mountain on Lynn's side. So there is a potential there for something to come out of that. I think Werf's about to go back and get a refill on his bombs now from the upgrade ferry, which I think is a very good play.
Yeah, definitely. It was just like, you know what? I passed it the first time. I'm not doing that again. No, let's go ahead and get that. So then we got that mushroom out, which kind of leads me to believe we're going directly up to the witch's hut to go turn this in, and that way, that's always a good idea. You kind of want to hold on to that. I mean, if you can, Crosskeys, Key Sanity in particular is kind of one of the few modes where fake powdering can occasionally be beneficial, but with this being Crosskeys, if you come in and you're gonna want to try to find exactly you're gonna probably run into the potion shop earlier than later. And if you have already turned in that mushroom, then great, you already pick up the item. If not, you'll have to. That's an additional trip that you're gonna have to do at some point.
Given that he is continuing on here, I think it was just a matter of circumstance that the mushroom was pre-selected for him, being the first thing in his menu, rather than something that he was actively planning on turning in at this point. We did see Desert East entrance there. I wouldn't be shocked if Werf goes back to that and grabs the map chest and maybe explore some of the connectors there after scouting what else is in the desert here. I did not catch what was on Desert Ledge there, but he is.
I want to say
up to a
yeah, garbage. I want to say that was garbage.
Okay.
It wasn't anything of interest. Yeah, a single green rupee. Yes, that would be the this. This is where we say big thank you to both of our trackers there, Tofile and Saber UX. There.
Yeah, indeed. That's always very helpful to have 2 extra pairs of eyes watching and keeping the trackers updated, especially in this mode where there's so many things that need to be tracked. So big thank you to both of them for helping out tonight.
Well, now let's get to see here as Lin's going ahead and he's going to set up for the Death Warp here. Yeah, in Thieves Town, goes ahead, blows himself up, he gets out there as Werf picks up 10 arrows out of that map chest here in Desert Palace. Gonna go over and check the torch just to see if there's anything here that we'll need to come back for, and that's a heart container, so that's gonna stay there for the rest of the time. And
yeah, we'll get to see at least one of these desert connectors. We'll see how much he feels like continuing to explore based on where this goes. Up on top of the castle is an interesting location. Obviously, we can only get one of the other 2 entrances here without having either Cape or Master Sword to get into the Vanilla Castle Tower entrance. But we do see Hyrule Castle here.
oh, that is such a terrible location for Werf.
It is, because he has not gotten that Hyrule Castle small key.
Right, and it's literally right below him.
Yeah. So the Hyrule Castle small key, if you joined us late, was at the drop, the Vanilla Uncle drop. But Werf does not know about that yet, because he has not come up here to explore the main Hyrule Castle entrance or the drop over there. So now he is up on top of the castle and inside of Hyrule Castle itself without that small key. So he may be inclined to do some, key scumming or other shenanigans here as we find connector both to the Dark Potion Shop and into the Mire area here coming out of Hyrule Castle.
Honestly, this Mire connector is a really, really interesting one to find. That kind of means we might not be getting mitts today, which is kind of a big thing. Mitts, wow, really getting pulled there by that area.
Yeah, that weird. There's a little weird glitch sometimes when you're bunny walking and kind of end up in the water, or on the edge of the water there, and it just kind of slowly drifts you up and right sometimes, which is annoying, but you can recover from it. So. Werf sees a chest in the brewery there in the Mire Shed entrance, but is not able to do anything with it right now without any means to get Super Bunny state. So we will leave that for now and hopefully remember to make it back there later when we find the Moon Pearl.
Yeah, I mean, you come back there with the Moon Pearl, come back there with possibly a mirror, open up as many entrances as you can possibly get over there. So, now, Werf is going to have this decision exactly, kind of like how you mentioned, how much are you going to do in Hyrule Castle here? Like, are you going to go all the way to the back and just say, you know what, forget the things that are locked behind GT? Or are we going to steal keys? Like, what exactly are we going to do? As Lin goes back to the well, picks up his blue mail, and now we got both runners on 4 hearts and blue mail right now.
Yeah, Werf did a good job showing that he still remembers his bomb strats from the standard mode main tournament a few months ago. And then Lin is going to go over and get the items here from the Uncle Drop at the Sanctuary as well here. But again, we'll see who actually finds some sort of progression here first. I'm not sure exactly what direction Lin will want to go after this. As soon as I complimented the standard tourney bomb start opening, this room goes a little bit sideways for werfjig, but he does get through it. Finds a heart container there in the boomerang chest.
Okay, and gonna go ahead. We're gonna take the key down to Zelda's cell. Now, quite often you'll see a bunch of runners there. They'll steal a key, they'll head up back to the back of Escape and kind of leave the other ones because from Werf's perspective, this is 100% out of logic. Now we know that there's a Hyrule Castle key directly below him right now, which is just kind of unfortunate. When he finds that, he's oh my god, though, but that's the Moon Pearl, so he gets paid off massively for that.
Okay.
And
yeah, that is very big. I was just thinking that because Werf took the death coming into Hyrule Castle, coming out of the Dark World there, that he might just reset entirely all 3 of the items and then come back and saves come to the back later. But with that discovery of the Moon Pearl, you're definitely keeping this, and looks like he's gonna set up a death warp here to get back to the entrance and go explore some of those Dark World connectors that he had just discovered up on the coming out of Hyrule Castle here.
Yeah, I don't blame him at all there, because now at this point I'm trying to remember exactly how he got up for this. This was like a connector through desert on top of the castle.
Yeah, so Desert West down at the desert cave to get to top of the castle, and then right entrance of Hyrule Castle was the entrance to Hyrule Castle Main that he found into there. Yep.
Yeesh.
So he does go back for the brewery there at Meyer Shed, gets a map to Hera, but it's going to save and quit out of that. And I can't remember if he has discovered any of the other connectors to Dark World yet.
He's found the Curiosity Shop, which is quite possibly the most useless Dark World connector that you could possibly get right now. Because,
right. Yeah, I was gonna say the other exit out of Hyrule Castle was the Dark Potion Shop, but nothing. I mean, I guess you could set up a fake flipper there and go to Dark Shopping Mall, but other than that, not really a lot of options there. One thing that we did see is that Werf, in going back for that chest in the Mire area, did abandon still the entrance there at Hyrule Castle Main, which of course we know is Eastern Palace, and that Hyrule Castle key, which he might want to know about for later purposes. Once he is, once he finds that, I think he'll be much more inclined to go back and explore Dark Cross and the back of Escape.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, he'll eventually he'll end up going back there, but at some point we'll have to see exactly when that's going to be, as he's going to make his way over to the bomb shop. Now, Lin's going to have to play with his mini Moldorms, who are being considerably less nice than Werf's were, looks like. Couple of bombs is going to get down that one in the middle here, and now this is the problem with mini Moldorm game. That's why Werf doing this with 3 bombs was so impressive. They don't like to stay put, and very often they'll just decide that the bombs just don't hurt them this time because of altitudes and weird stuff. As Lin picks up his stuff out of mini Moldorm Cave there, Mushroom and Blue Cane, and that Castle Tower key.
So we'll see where Lin goes here. I would expect him to go towards the desert area, and I would expect him eventually to follow that connector once he makes his way down there. But for the time being, right now, it looks like he's going to continue. Maybe go over and see check Hobo here, which I don't think we have seen from either runner. Or go ahead and do something.
Lin checked Hobo. I just don't remember it being anything.
Oh, okay.
GT Compass there. Thank you there, Sarayu. And there he goes. Werf now goes, oh, hey, great. That's my logic. Oh, all right.
Yeah. Of course, him having already gone to Zelda's cell and finding that prize. Lin finds the top entrance of Paradox Cave there at the Waterfall Ferry. So that's going to be something he comes back to here after doing his 2 Zora item checks. And we'll see if he can, get through there and see what he finds in those 7 items, which will be potentially big for him.
Right, and Werf going ahead, he found Eastern as well, also saying no to that, so basically both runners have found Eastern Palace now, walked in, immediately decided, yeah, you know what, I don't want to do this right now, and have left. Big Fish today, he's got ourselves a compass, so we're just gonna leave that there.
Meanwhile, it looks like Werf might be following in Lin's footsteps here, since he is going over and making the hobo check now, as Lin nopes out of the 2 items that were available in her area to go back, and we'll see what he finds in Paradox Gate.
So yeah, so pretty much if you're just joining us here welcome in, it's 30 minutes in. This is Swiss round 1 of the 2021 Crosskeys tournament. We've got last year's champion Linlinlin going up against werfjig. Pretty much early thing. werfjig went ahead and he's found the Moon Pearl sitting in Zelda's cell today, which is a very nasty connector. You got to go through Desert Palace to get up to on top of Hyrule Castle to get into a Hyrule Castle main entrance on the on the right side. Go down to Zelda's cell, and that's where your Pearl is hiding today. So kind of a mess, but so Werf has found that. We're still waiting for Linlinlin to head that direction. But outside of that, pretty much the runners have mostly the same equipment.
Yeah, we haven't found a lot in the way of progression items that really open the world up, other than these flippers so far. But presumably we're going to find something here soon. One thing to remember here is that the bottom entrance here, as Lin finds the red mail here in Paradox Cave, the bottom entrance of Paradox would put you out on the mountain, which could be something that Werf has not seen yet, as Lin finds the boots over there on the right side of Paradox Cave, which is always welcome to find early in any seed, but especially in Crosskeys, where you're going to be doing so much traveling all around the world here.
And kind of a nice thing for a very competitive game here is we've got both runners picking up the boots probably within a minute of each other.
Yeah.
So nobody's going to get a big advantage from it here, which is kind of nice.
Indeed. And we saw the middle connector there of Paradox dumping Lin out at the North Village of Outcasts. North Village of Outcasts fortune teller there, as Lin also finds the desert main entrance here, or goes back to the desert main entrance that he found up on Death Mountain. So I would be very much, if there's ever going to be a time for him to continue exploring the connectors here and find his way up to Hyrule Castle, this would definitely be the right time for that. And I fully expect him to keep going here and end up finding his way over to that Moon Pearl here shortly.
Yeah, it looks like Werf's probably not going to get any sort of big advantage from finding that Moon Pearl early because, like you mentioned, that Lin is now going out the connector that he needed to go to. Going to dash over, and this is going to be Hyrule Castle main, and his Moon Pearl is sitting in Zelda's cell. Now, possibly even better for Lin, he does have that small key, so he might be tempted to go all the way back to the back of Escape. Now, again, that'll be out of logic because he doesn't have a lamp, but at the same time, how much he's going to need the lamp is hard to say.
Having the boots there does give you an easier setup for at least for the Dark Cross chest. I think the bigger issue is going to be, finding that key rat and killing it, because your choices on Lin's side right now are bombs or using the small amount of magic you've got to use the Cane of Burna. And neither of those are terribly appealing options in the dark, so logic like that. Looks like he's gonna just make his way out of here. I guess being on red mail is not the easiest death warp to set up, especially in the dark here.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to go out through that entrance, though, because that door locks behind you. So he's going to have to, honestly, this might be a time to just... Oh, he's going for the bottom here. Now, if he moves this block... Yeah. There we go, moves that block, that opens up the thing, and now he can walk all the way back out. Now, if he knows the way back out here, I'm impressed, because this is not like the most standard part of the maze here. Okay, it goes up and nope, gets caught. Now this is actually kind of entertaining at this point.
Yeah, wiggles his way through there. Lin finds his moon pearl as well, so he's going to peek out and check out both of the connectors, see the dark potion shop there, and then he'll head over into the mire area as Werf does escape the darkness there at Castle Tower.
Now that sword advantage is going to be a big deal because now all of a sudden, because Werf went from having basically bombs and burn as a way of killing enemies to being able to actually just kill them the normal way, which is much better than pretty much any other thing that you could use here. Yeah. So.
And especially with those boots, it's even nicer to have that early sword because you don't have to. You aren't constantly bonking into enemies.
Yeah, you're not going to smack face first into any more like Hinox or anything like that, which is a kind of a nice thing to do here. As Lin's about to pick up his map to Tower of Hera. At this point, though, I'm starting to think maybe we need to take that connector. Well, after Werf saves the old man here, he is going to get that connector on top of Bumper Ledge if he goes out through the back of the old man's save point. That's probably one of the better connectors you can get as far as a start point for exploring most of the Dark World, because it puts you right next to everything and it can allow you to really just kind of circle around and get things really in the right order here.
Yeah, for sure. He did not, I don't know if he skipped it entirely or just decided to put it off, but he did not follow through, as I was kind of expecting him to, with the connector through the middle entrance of Paradox there. So we'll see. I expect him probably to come up here, and he's going to check the two dark entrances up here on Death Mountain that we did not see from Lin, and then probably explore where that old man saving quit point is. So hopefully he will find his way into the Dark World here, and Lin will probably, having already seen the back of Old Man and knowing that exists, will probably head that way soon as well, having his Moon Pearl now.
Oh, definitely. And actually, he finds a pretty big one right here. Now, he finds Pod. Now, this is one thing that you might be more familiar with than I am there, Will. Does Werf mimic clip at all, or...?
I am not actually sure if that is in his bag of tricks. It does not look like he is interested in doing it today, though, as he saves and quits out of the shooter room. So, given that it's so early in the seed, I still think that that's probably a reasonable play. The only kind of issue there is that that is not the most accessible pod entrance for getting back to. So, if there is required progression in pod that's locked by one of the keys, or as Lin just found, the pod big key, that could be something that, maybe he is a little bit later getting back to than whenever Lin discovers it.
Now, that pod big key was in kind of a nasty place too, because that's at the desert main entrance right there. So you needed to use the book to open that up. Now, it's not the only way. If you find the mirror, we do have a connector into the Misery Mire area, which we can use to get through there, but we'll have to see. But probably bigger, though. At the Bonk Rocks right next to Link's house, we find Blind Set. So this is one of our 5 item caves there. There's I want to say 5 of these really large ones here, as we find the hammer in this one. So that is one of the big items that we're looking for, because that unlocks quite a few dungeons. And the Cane of Samaria as well.
Meanwhile, in one of the cruel ironies of Crosskeys, werfjig's first check in the Dark World was the K45 small key that Lin had abandoned earlier, and of course it was a pod small key. So,
of course,
which you just love to see the second after you've saved and quit out of pod.
I mean, that is just the nature of Crosskeys. It's just like, hey, you need this one item, you're gonna find it immediately after you need it, and right when you are now on the other side of the world and can't do anything with it.
But yeah, that hammer and Samaria there together is going to be very big for Lin. Open up a lot of things both in dungeons, and once we find a glove, it'll give a much easier Dark World access as well. including to the East Arc world, which I guess we also have access to through the Sanctuary 7 clip point, but still will be nice for him in terms of accessibility and just getting around and routing more smoothly.
Right, and kind of an interesting thing here is if, say, Lin is able to find Misery Mire at some point, Misery Mire is now completable. It's not fun. It would be extremely difficult to complete it with our current loadout. The loadout is terrible for completing it, but you can do it.
Right. I would expect if he does stumble upon it, that he might wait until he has a fire source to be able to get those 2 left side items in one go, with the to clear the dungeon fully. But we'll see. We'll see when he discovers it, as we're going to see what the big key is here at the Magic Bat drop. And it is Thieves Town, which we have seen. So that is an interesting big key as well.
That is the Thieves Town. The Thieves Town entrance is kind of right next to Lin here. If he could be convinced to probably go directly into it here, it looks like he's considering it. I'm gonna go check out Turtle Rock here first, though.
Right. I don't know if he would prefer to wait on that until he finds that thieves' small key. Given that we do have Hammer, that it's going to be available, and we don't want to. You never want to orphan the item, your go mode or whatever in Thieves' Big Chest, but especially not at 40 minutes into a seed. You don't want to really put yourself in that position if you can help it.
I can kind of speak from a little bit of experience here that Lin usually doesn't have any problem going for that chest. But we'll see if this time is a little bit different there. You got to kind of take everything as its own thing. As Werf goes ahead, he pulls out the big key to Desert Palace here out of Skull Woods here. That is available to everyone the moment that they found the Moon Pearl here. So that's a nice little find for him. We're going to need a fire source before we can complete Desert, though. So it's a good thing to have. It only opens up one chest at the moment, though.
Right. Have we seen the back of Desert yet? I don't remember.
No, we have not. Okay. So that's just one of those things we're going to add to the list of stuff we need to find. Oh, these chain chomps not playing particularly nice there for Lin. Gets the thing, is not gonna take the death warp, just gonna save and quit out.
Oh, that was scary for me. I'm glad he had the blue mail at least for that.
He's on red. They're on red mail now. Both of the runners are on red mail because red mail was there in Paradox Cave now. Oh, this is kind of this is both good and a little unfortunate for Werf over here. He's found Laser Bridge. But without that Cane of Samaria, he's going to leave behind the Crystal Roller Room thing. Actually, he doesn't have any magic right now either, so he'd be leaving this behind no matter what at the moment.
Yeah, that's a good point. Does get the first 3 of his laser skips smoothly. A little bit easier with boots than without, but gets the last one. No real prizes there for werfjig. But it is nice to get those 4 items seen and out of the way, and know that you're not going to be searching for your back of Turtle Rock later on when you need to go back to complete it.
Yeah, definitely. Being able to find that, getting those couple of items, and probably more importantly, just being able to mark that entrance down there does make things a lot easier, as Lin has just walked right into this same area here. Now, he, on the other hand, does have the Cane of Samaria. He will be able to see exactly what is in Crystal Roller Room here, and as Werf, of course, finds a second key to Pod there.
Right, and Lin will also be able to check Mimic Cave, which was right next door to this entrance, given that he has the hammer as well. So we'll see if either of those give Lin any further early advantage here from finding that sword, or from finding that hammer in Samaria when he did.
I mean, the sword is good for Werf, but at the same time, it's not really doing a whole lot. I mean, it's allowing him to be a little bit more, I don't know, reckless with his dashes because the enemies will just, get out of his way or die. Whereas Lin's got to actually kind of pay attention a little bit to what he's dashing into.
Yeah, before Lin found that hammer, it was a nice, offense advantage for werfjig, but now at this point, it's kind of more of just a getting around speed thing for him that's an advantage versus the hammer and Samaria for Lin that really actually open up new checks. So.
Yeah, and it looks like the Crystal Roller Room there was a pod small key. So, I mean, it's possible that comes into play, but it's not overly likely as Lin's going to get to be, like you mentioned, pretty efficient here. We're going to check out exactly what Mimic Cave is as Werf is doing the dig game. It's just a shield, so if Werf never comes back there, he'll be completely fine. And there's the 300 rupees for him to go and pay Zora if he decides to do that later.
Don't do it, Werf. It's just a compass.
It's really not worth it. You can skip that one today. You'll be fine. But I mean, that's the thing with Crosskeys, right? There's always things you can skip. You just don't know what they are. And so if you skip the wrong thing...
Yeah, and the fact that he had to abandon that, knowing that it was in logic so early with those flippers, it may be something that kind of haunts him or stays in the back of his mind long into the seed. So we'll see if and when he actually makes it back there for that check.
Yeah, and it looks like our Dark Bonk Rocks there is just going to be one of the big fairies. So we're still kind of trying to find something that we can complete now. There's just a whole lot of nothing going on right now as we're just kind of moving this through. We're finding a lot of maps to dungeons that we already know.
I mean, if Linlinlin...
It's so unbelievably slow. It's doable, and occasionally the game wants you to do that, but you probably would want to exhaust your other options first.
But werfjig being kind of at the end of his route here, I expect him to get the remaining 4 items that he can get at this point from Meyer, and then head back up and check out Hookshot Cave, like you mentioned earlier. So he remembers that he does have the big key, is going to route down to the big chest here.
I guess the kind of question for him is whether or not he wants to go to Hookshot Cave or whether he's going to want to go to Dark Shopping Mall, because we do have those flippers and they've been in logic. They were in logic for forever. So Dark Shopping Mall is an option now. If you want to go back through that Dark Witch's Hut connector that we found at one point, you can.
I would think that the save and quit from Sanctuary would be a more appealing option for getting down there.
True. That is true. Yeah, that we do have that Sanctuary connector there that we've had for a while. Werf getting down to these single hearts, so when he jumps off the side of the bridge after getting this last chest, he'll be able to immediately death warp out. Which, good planning from his point of view.
Oh no, he gets the heart refill as he tries to take the death warp.
Okay. It was good planning.
It was good planning, but the game had some other ideas, unfortunately.
Now over on Lin's side, he did find the potion shop over there in the pod area, and also finds chess games. So he's finding a few, not really anything for, not really anything that's going to help him though. It looked like the potion shop just gave him, was it 10 Shroom was 100 rupees there. Thank you.
Yeah, so no, I don't know if we saw werfjig make it back up there to turn that mushroom in. I don't think that we did. But either way, no real payout there for Lin having that done, as he's going to make his way to the pod entrance here, while we get to see one item here in Hookshot Cave from werfjig, and it is just a piece of heart.
Looks like Werf is
looks like he was setting up for a hover there. I didn't I actually didn't know that was in his bag of tricks. He may have just been playing that up for the restream. I'm not entirely sure. And he gets stumped out at the Pyramid Fairy entrance, so it looks like he will be making his way over into the East Ark world, where Lin just saved and quit after finding nothing of importance over at the pod entrance.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, to be honest, there was a little bit of, looks like, frustration slashes there from Werf, but, I mean, if we're being honest, that's not the worst place to get shot out at, for exactly where he was going. I mean...
Yeah, it really isn't. You get that knowledge, especially having found, the big bomb shop already, that's not going to, later on, and... It does put you out at a useful place, even if it is right next to one of your save and quit points, to continue doing checks that you haven't done already.
Lin, because he had that hammer, was able to save and quit back to Sanctuary and then come directly south, so he's going to be able to check all of these things out. Now, I wonder if his Misery Mire calculations are going to be a little bit different than Werf's. Since he's got hammer... he's got Red Cane. I mean, if he wants to, he can. But I really don't know exactly what he's going to do here.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting decision, as we are going to see the other side of Bumper Cave here from werfjig, having just found that cape in Misery Mire. Once we make it through that the small ledge there, as it does look like that Lin is choosing to go ahead and go into Misery Mire armed with just his hammer and cane. Not the most fun way of completing Mire 2 here, but he makes it look pretty easy with that Samaria.
He takes it down pretty well there. Now Werf is going to be starting from Link's house. Now, hopefully for him, he's just going to turn directly to the left here and go check these bonk rocks, because there is a massive amount of items, and very important items in there. And yep, sure enough, he's going to go in. So, okay, this is going to be the hammer for Werf, and also it's going to be the Cane of Samaria here. So these are some great things for him.
He'll be caught up item-wise here with Linlinlin. And, perhaps he will, obviously he doesn't have, doesn't open up anything huge for him immediately, but still, he'll be able to, once he, as he continues to find dungeons and explore the world here, those will be, he'll no longer be at that disadvantage to Lin, having, already passed up a couple of checks that Lin could do without, or with having those items.
So, here's the question, though. We've seen quite a lot at this point. We've seen pretty much both runners have been fairly identical with their checks. I mean, we haven't seen a whole lot of divergence there. People are kind of following each other. Get a little bit of information. Looks like Eastern Palace and Tower of Hera are crystals. Where's our progression at? I mean, I think it's either Eastern Palace right now, or it's that pod area.
It does feel like Eastern and Pod are the two most item-dense locations that we've got in Logic right now. You've got 4 items in Logic plus the big key chest over at Eastern. And for Palace of Darkness right now, you've got 1, 2...
Actually, Palace of Darkness...
Well,
Palace of Darkness, we only have the one thing in Logic, really.
We've got...
First two, we've got the 2 chests. Okay, the first 2 chests past that front door are in Logic now, but
that's true. Yeah, it is just those 2 chests that are in Logic. If we find one more small key, then that opens up, I guess, the Compass chest, and then obviously these runners being capable of doing Dark Rooms would also be able to get to Dark Basement, be able to hammer jump and get the 3 chests from the Dark Maze, but. Yeah, it's still not a lot that's opened up there, so it does kind of feel like, right now that Eastern is our most item-dense play. Also, back at Thieves Town, which it looks like werfjig is going to take that big key and go directly into, which I think is a good play at this point.
Yeah, I was going to let you finish there, but yeah, I mean, that Thieves Town big key does open up 1 check in Logic. It is a nasty, evil check in Cell. The other ones are not in Logic, but I mean, there have been races decided by this one chest back here in the past. So it's a big deal.
Yeah, and of course he'll be able to get the other, the attic chest and the item from Blind as well, even if those aren't necessarily in logic until we find that small key. But this could be a big play for him. This is something that we have not seen from Lin. He had the same opportunity to make it over here when he found that big key right there next to it, but opted to go in a different direction at that time. So we'll see if we find any value for Werf here.
Lin getting spit out of Hookshot Cave. There was a little surprised that Lin didn't go for the hover to go across and check those other 3 chests there. I know Lin is more than capable of being able to do that, usually.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised he didn't go for that as well, but, it's not difficult to get back to, especially once we find a glove that will let you, start or just go directly there from the Dark World portal south of Link's house, so he may be thinking that it's just something that he can wait on and come back to a little bit later.
Yeah, that is possible. Getting spit out there at the pyramid, it's not the best place to get spit out. You're not super excited about that by any means, but at the same time, you can just kind of go ahead and if you don't touch anything when you go out of a connector like that, like that one, or I believe that it also works with like the if you get spit out at the entrance to Turtle Rock. If you just do like a dash turn to go back in, like you will actually go back through the connector. As looks like Thieves Town is not exactly our logical progression here. Now, Sick Kid, that's another option. There is that bottle that is on the on Stumpy right now that it looks like Lin has not gotten to.
That's correct.
That could be also our progression. Now, this is the fun of Crosskeys. We're getting down to last location sort of thing, and trying to figure out exactly. We're getting to the point
where our options are loose single items scattered all over the world, and dipping dungeons that you can't necessarily complete. So, not the most appealing options or appealing choices in the world to these 2 runners.
Yeah, definitely. We're an hour in, and we're about to find out exactly if Blind is going to be a pendant or if he's going to be a crystal there. Werf is following the script very nicely there. Takes a hit, so we're going to get a little bit of a scramble, but yep, there goes Blind. He gets taken down, and the answer is that's going to be a key to Pod, and our first crystal of the match there here at about the 58-minute mark.
Yeah, so I guess that pod key is not necessarily in logic, but it does open up enough of it that I wouldn't be shocked if he made his way back there soon, especially knowing that pod is a pendant dungeon that you may not need to complete. The only issue there being that, you have to take a connector up to Death Mountain and then go through the Dark World portal to get back there. So it is not the most quickly accessible location in the game, but that is now the 4th different pod small key that we have seen. Even if only 3 of them have been in logic of the game so far.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, following logic in Crosskeys can kind of almost cause more problems than not, because the logic can be really dumb. Yes. At times. And if the logic is just being really, really dumb, then at that point, it's sometimes good to just assume you always have one more key than you actually do. A lot of times, I know a couple of runners play that way. I have, like, if I have 3 pod keys in my head, I probably actually have 4, even though I don't really know where the other one is at the moment.
For sure, yeah, and like I said, with pod being a pendant in this case, you may be more inclined to go ahead and do a dip that lets you clear out the back, even if you do end up spending a key that would normally lock that. Or potentially, delay you getting to, getting back to Helmasaur or to the big key chest later on.
Now, speaking of just breaking logic, Lin is taking his hammer, taking a little bit of items that he's got here, and it looks like we're going to be going for just breaking open this area of GT here. Now, without a sword, this isn't the easiest thing in the world to do. You got to hit this one kind of awkward bomb jump, which is kind of a hammer yump setup, but Lin is a pro, knocks it down without any problem. Werf finds the map to Desert Palace in the big chest of Desert Palace, which, you know, useful. Thanks.
For sure. Lin is clearing out the Stalfos room here. Doesn't get any real value here, but we'll definitely continue his sequence break here through the rest of the left side of the basement and the probably 10 or so items that are remaining here.
Then trying to decide exactly which of the items are the best ones to hit the switch with, as Werf finds Super Bunny Cave, but it's the front of Super Bunny Cave, so decides, you know what, I don't really want to do that quite yet. He looks like he wanted to, but at the same time is just like, okay, now I've got to go like Death Warp out of the back of Hyrule Castle or something.
Yeah, he's going to take that Hyrule Castle key that he didn't have the first time here, and his boots and sword, and go ahead and get through Dark Cross and the 3 chests in the back of Escape. So this will be our first time seeing those. As Lin completes his second bomb jump here, over and gets, I think that's Turtle Rock Small Key. Is that I guess that's his first or his second that he's found?
Pretty sure that's his first there. I don't think we've seen one before this time. Well, we are now well out of logic over here on Lin's side. Everything in this room is locked behind 4 GT keys. We are gonna find, wow, absolutely nothing. This is a barren GT at this point.
Yeah.
Hey,
so
it's not shocking that it's barren because like we're down to we don't have any small keys for it at this point, but man, yipes.
Yeah, both runners are currently exploring the game outside of the logical boundaries here, which of course in Crosskeys is very often the best way to go for purposes of speed. As werfjig completes second bottle, a compass to pod, and a bow. Ooh, that is potentially big for him to get out of the back of the game.
That bow means you can go ahead and do Eastern Palace right now, and he has seen Eastern Palace. It is very close to where he currently is. He's got one of the worst death warps I think I've ever seen coming up right now, trying to death warp on red mail to a rat. This is just gonna take a while. But
meanwhile, we get to see some beautiful Burna Armo strats here from Linlinlin, being that he does not have that bow or any other really efficient way of killing the Armos Knights here. We'll use the hammer, it looks like, to finish off the last guard of the 6. As werfjig finally completes his work.
More importantly, though, Lin picked up that ice rod out of the chest right before that, and there is Lin's first sword, locked behind the Armos Knights. That is a big... That's a good find for him here, because the other one that Werf got there, that was just in a terrible, terrible location. Now, Lin deciding to pick up a fairy. I'm wondering what he's got in mind.
This is a great question. Does not seem like a runner of Lin's caliber would be terribly worried about dying with 11 hearts and red mail. So he may have some other plans and option, maybe to get over to the East Death Mountain area. But we'll see what he ends up doing later on.
He has found Spike Cave. And I'm kind of wondering, but I mean, he doesn't have a glove for Spike Cave, so I don't know, as we find the big key to Skull Woods there in Super Bunny Cave over on Werf's side. Could be Meyer. Yep, that's actually a good point there. With that sword, maybe you're a little bit more willing to go ahead and start risking doing Vitreous at this point. Doing it swordless without like lamp or anything like that. Yeah, okay. But red mail and otherwise, yeah, you could maybe make a hash out of this. As it looks like Werf has found the front of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, he actually found the connector through through Super Bunny there on top of the castle, up to the floating island, and gets a lamp out of the front of Turtle Rock for his trouble there. So that is our first fire source of the seed, and that's something that he'll definitely appreciate having.
Yeah, that'll be quite nice. Now, I was about to say, is Lin really thinking about
speaking of fire sources?
Right. Was he gonna do a bootsless, lampless, right side of GT? That was gonna be impressive if he pulled that one off.
I would have been impressed as well if he had managed to get through that room somehow without either a lamp or fire rod or some other major glitches of some sort.
Now, Werf did not jump down from the top of Death Mountain, Dark Death Mountain there. I'm a little surprised that he didn't check the bottom two entrances, but
I think he saw those earlier through a connector.
That's right. He did. You're right. I could have gone over to Pod then, but I mean, all things considered, probably not that big a deal. He's going to end up going here through Eastern Palace, so we're going to finally get to see everything that's in Eastern Palace here. He's going to get to make basically a one-stop shop out of the entire thing. In logic, even.
And it looks like Lin is potentially about to make the same discovery there, as he's going to go through and get his bow and other items out of the back of Hyrule Castle, and then probably follow that Super Bunny connector as well, I would imagine, after this.
It does seem that way. So far, Eastern Palace, we're only one check-in. Nothing to get too excited about, but I am going to laugh really hard if it turns out that a glove is in one of these next couple of chests, and it's just sitting there for both of these runners since the word go, and nobody's checked it until an hour and 7 minutes in.
But the most important thing is that they do get to single dip it, so, you know.
I mean, I suppose.
And then when we find, two gloves in here and a fire rod, maybe we feel a little bit bad about it.
I mean, Crosskeys will humble you in the most hilarious ways at times. It's kind of the name of the game here. And since we are about an hour and 8 minutes in, thank you for joining us today over on Zelda Speedruns 3 here. We're streaming the round one of these Swiss parts of the tournament, Swiss stages of the tournament here. You've got on the left side, you've got werfjig going up against last year's champion Linlinlin in round one. One of the probably more interesting matchups in this round one. And thank you for joining us tonight here. My name's Days Cloud. I'm joined by Will WC. Our trackers today are Seiryu X and Tofile, and hope you're enjoying the show so far.
Yep. We really appreciate our trackers helping us out tonight. They've been doing a great job keeping track of not just all of the trackable items, but even some of the ones that are not that don't necessarily have a spot on the tracker. We still have not found anything out of Eastern Palace here, as we see Lin looking to go in that same direction. So we're going to get some overlap here from our two runners, as werfjig goes to the back here, as Lin is making his way through the entrance.
Well, we have found 2 Turtle Rock Smalls in Eastern. Now, that doesn't mean anything because we found all the entrances to Turtle Rock, so like those Turtle Rock Smalls are maybe logically important, but they're not actually important in the way entrance works. There is, if you find Laser Bridge, you don't really need to find pretty much anything else now. We haven't found the Turtle Rock Big Chest. That is correct. We haven't found that one yet, but we'll have to see if that one's gonna turn into something later, because we don't even have the Turtle Rock Big Key yet. So not finding that entrance is kind of like, okay, yeah, we'll worry about that if we have the TR Big Key.
Right. werfjig's gonna take on the Armos Knights here, the grippy floor version, not the ice version that Lin did earlier. Gets $300 for his trouble, and does get a crystal out of it, but otherwise, no major progression there in Eastern, so no harm, no foul to either runner there on putting this location off until we had the bow and big key, even after finding it very early on.
I mean, at this point, I think you kind of got to start thinking about Pod, possibly. Werf, though, looks like this. I'm guessing this might be a GT play over here. He's going to go get the same items that Lin got just a second ago.
Yeah, I would not be surprised at all. So he'll get his Master Sword if he's able to complete all the way through to the Ice Armos there. Meanwhile, Lin making his way through the Dark Rooms, having not picked up the lamp out of the front of Turtle Rock there that werfjig got just a minute ago. But otherwise, not having too much difficulty with the rather easy Dark Rooms of Eastern Palace.
Now, one thing for Lin, he didn't go up through Super Bunny, did he?
I guess not. I must have checked out when he was doing that, but yeah, not having. I'm sure if he had gotten up there to the floating island, that he would have dropped down and checked at least that one entrance there at the top of the mountain, and gone ahead and gotten the compass room chest.
It does make sense that for him not to do that. I mean, saving quit out of the back of escape there is what we're being told now. Like, yeah, that makes sense, because I mean, as we saw with Werf, he that took a while.
Yeah, he had a very lengthy death warp there, and he did it with only, I think, 3 hearts, whereas Lin, I think, had more at the time. So that does make sense. But if we do end up finding something on the Light World version of the floating island later, Lin might be... that may not be an appealing connector to get back to, depending on when we... I mean, I guess we have the save and quit point from Sanctuary to get back there with Mirror, so it's not that bad, but it may not be the most appealing thing to get back to later on.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where if something's on floating island, like, when do you go, oh, I didn't do Super Bunny? Like, I imagine Lin will keep that in the back of his head, but I mean, at some point, knowledge can be a big advantage in any seed like this.
Yeah.
As Lin takes down his Armos Knights, he picks up his first crystal of the match here at an hour and 13 minutes in. Werf does have the 2 to his 1 right now, but if Lin decides he wants to go ahead and finish off Thieves Town, he can go ahead and do that. At this point, though, I don't know when he's gonna decide to do that. Gonna get a save and quit. We're gonna have to see what does he want to do next. My hunch is that we've got something in Pod, which is the Dark Death Mountain rescue cave. You know, the one on the bottom left of Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah. One other thing that I was wondering here, we have not seen any of the Dark Shopping Mall entrances yet, have we?
I don't think we have.
I can see that, both runners would want to put that off until they had a glove to not, really isolate that entrance, but yeah, I don't think we've seen that area either.
Yeah, I think we might be going over there in just a minute as Werf goes ahead and picks up his Ice Rod. Now Lin's going to start using these connectors through Hyrule Castle to get to places here, going back up on top, and I guess this is going to be how... this is some good routing from Lin. He's going to use this to get back up onto... Okay, I thought he was going to go up into Super Bunny here, but I guess not.
Yeah. I guess he's going to probably do the big chest check here and then go back and pick that up here.
Ah, right. He hasn't been here. Werf was here, not Lin. Right. Okay, so Werf has now picked up his Master Sword, a couple more hearts. Now we're up to 12 hearts, red mail, and no mirrors, so Death Warping is even more fun than it was before.
One thing to maybe note on werfjig's side here is that he does have the lamp here, and with the boots, it's very possible that he may choose to go ahead and sequence break the right side here that Lin was not able to do. So that'll be kind of a thing to watch for here after he does the tile room check to see if he tries to set up for that.
That is a good point. Yeah, he could pretty easily, well, not easily, it's not an easy trick by any means, but he could do that if he decides to.
Yeah, I would not be surprised, given where we are and just, kind of the options that he has available to him, to see him go ahead and go for that here.
And he decides at some point, you know, tile room is silly here. I'm just going to put on my cape.
Does not note that entrance exists. We'll see if he goes over that direction here once he gets spat out up on top of Dark Death Mountain, as werfjig chooses to save and quit after doing tile room there. So we're not going to see that right side sequence break from him here at this point.
All right, it looks like Lin has gone all the way through Super Bunny Cave. Now he's going to go ahead and get his lamp. Probably be a little excited there. That will mean that if we do happen to run into Desert Palace back, that we'll be able to complete it. If we run into Skull Woods, we could actually complete it too. A little out of logic, but we could do it. Werf, on the other hand, might be heading over to our sick kid, it looks like. We're going to find out exactly what that guy's been holding this entire time.
Yep. So that'll be a new check for us, and then we'll see what direction Lin chooses to go here. I can't remember if he checked that connector coming over from the lumberjack hut earlier on to see the two entrances down at the bottom of the mountain here. So, no, he is going west, so he will find Pod. We will get information here very shortly on whether there is something in one of the earlier logical checks of Pod, or maybe deeper into the back that we don't necessarily have full logic for with the keys that we have right now.
And Werf is going to clean up Mimic Cave here. So this will be pod key number 4 for him, which might tell him, you know what, I should probably go get back to pod as quickly as I can. There is a very easy route for him. Well, easy, you know, in giant quotation marks, route for him if he wants to go back up through Paradox Cave, which is just to the right here. But it looks like he's not going to go that way.
I think we saw the top of this entrance to Spectral Rock that werfjig's going through right now on Lin's side earlier. Meanwhile, as we see on Lin's side that we're going into some new unexplored territory as werfjig gets dumped out at the safety door on Turtle Rock or on Dark Death Mountain, much to his chagrin.
And my mistake there, Mimic Cave was just a shield, so not going to be able to go that way, actually. Not going to have a fourth pod key here. First 2 chests and pod, not anything of interest, but I guess we're going to see if it turns out that this bow is basically our logical access to this entire area. At that point, you kind of almost feel bad for Werf, because he did get in here earlier. Theoretically could have had the chance to get in here if he had either a bottle or Mimic clipped through this section, but find out real fast if it's been pod this entire time. That's just a piece of heart, and the other chest over here is going to have just another piece of heart, so nope, that's not the entrance, and that's not that's not our progression either here. I'm starting to... We're not going to Vidi, are we?
Oh boy. Lin does a nice job of showing off the extended stair clip there to get past the blocks, and looks like he's going to go ahead and explore the back here. But yeah, I Vitreous, and what else do we have? Firelock Side of Mire, as our Tracker Saber EX points out, is now also available to us. I believe it does require one more...
I gotta cut you off, bud. We just got the mirror, and we just got the big key to Tower of Hera, and the small key to Desert Palace. All sitting in the back pod behind 4 keys.
That is quite a load there.
Yeah, that's a big deal. There. And, oh god, the flute block behind 6 right there. So... yeah, no, like if you come into pod right now, and that is the bonanza. So, wow. Yeah,
it certainly is at this point, and we're gonna get still 3 more checks out of here for Lin, as he sets up for the hammering jump here.
Oh my god! And there's our well, not probably not our supposed to be our first glove, but there is a glove there for this, and a big key to Ice Palace. Okay, continue. Come on, let's see what's this next chest. I'm gonna call Fire Rod. Let's go. It is a piece of heart. All right, fair enough.
Well, all right. Well, we couldn't go all the way ham there, but boy, that was a lot. Certainly hope to see werfjig get back up there soon and start clearing out some of that treasure hoard. As the mirror is going to open up a bunch of different entrances for us. The desert small key, Lin remembering that he is able to just mirror immediately and find the desert main entrance here. So we'll go ahead and see those 2 checks as well. And then the gloves are going to open up a number of entrances scattered all about as well.
Yeah, no, that's one of the biggest things that you could possibly find there. I mean, it's a pendant pod, which is always kind of interesting because a pendant pod, you know, Helmasaur is locked behind 6 pod keys, and if it's a pendant pod, you can just take all your small keys and just spend them on the front things. Like, you have to be kind of ambitious or optimistic or, I don't know, crazy to go ahead and decide that I'm going to go and do Helmasaur over opening like one of the doors like Lin did. Now, getting that flute out of there is something you probably don't expect to do. Now, Lin's going to go ahead and he's going to go even further here. We're going to take down a werfjig's sword advantage here.
Meanwhile, werfjig is going to go over and start exploring the dark shopping mall area. Unfortunately, he won't have that glove or mirror that Lin just got, so he will probably abandon the 2 glove lock checks over there. He does find the back of Skullwoods, which I expect that he'll be back to here shortly to sequence break the back of it. He sold the small key out of Skullwoods earlier, so he does have access to this. So we'll see what Mothula is holding today for us, and then we'll come back in and see the bridge chest item as well.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a little bit of shenanigans here to get to Mothula, but once we do, shouldn't be any problem doing this. This is going to be out of logic for 2 reasons here. We don't technically have the small keys that are necessary to be able to beat Mothula, and on top of that, we don't have the fire rod. But if you do this one simple trick of bomb jumping across this one gap, all of a sudden you can take care of the entire torches.
Yeah, meanwhile, we see that Lin's going up and got the Turtle Rock Big Key off of the top of Spectacle Rock and a heart piece from Ether Tablet there. He's also going to be able to check the Hera entrance as well as make our first real foray over into the Light World area of East Death Mountain.
And, oof, there's Tempered Sword hanging out in the Turtle Rock entrance up here.
Yep. So, Lin's gonna press that hammer, or the mirror and glove advantage over here, and be able to check a few more entrances that we have not seen yet.
All right, this is kind of a big moment here for Werf. Lin's starting to get a bit of an item advantage and stuff like this. Now, Werf, on the other hand, does have the crystal advantage. Now, is Mothula a crystal? He is, so that's going to be crystal number 3 for Werf. Now, you're kind of hoping for Werf that he ends up going to pod here pretty quickly, because if he does, all of a sudden that crystal advantage becomes a big deal. Now, Lin just found the small key to Thieves Town, though.
Yeah, that's a little bit spicy. Obviously, he'll be incentivized to make his way over to Thieves Town now, being able to fully clear the 4 chests in the back there, and we'll see if he gets anything, as we also find another pod small key. So that makes, I believe, the 5th different one that we have seen between the 2 runners.
I believe you are right. Yeah. At this point, if you go back into pod, you're going to go back in with 2 more pod keys, because at that point you just go, okay, let me just clear everything on Lin's side. If you're going to go back in there. Saryu X saying still 4 total small keys. I will believe you there, as we found the back of Desert Palace. Now on werfjig's side, we do know that this is a pendant, so Lin, I don't know if we want to say giving time to werfjig. We don't know what Lanmo is going to drop. If Lanmo drops something serious, then this is going to be great, because I don't know if werfjig will be incentivized to get this one. And so yeah, no, I think you're right there. There's probably 5 small keys. Anyway, it's not really that big a deal.
Yeah. Yeah, it just kind of highlights the fact that we do need, it is, pointing the runners back to, or pointing the runners logically back to Pod, which is where we really want to see werfjig get to, hopefully sometime soon here to get that, get the goodies out of the back there that Lin got. Instead, he's choosing to go and get the Swamp Big Chest. Meanwhile, Lin is already over here fighting the landmolls at the back of the desert.
And one more spin here is going to take him down. Now we're get to see exactly what is the item here. Is it an important item or is it going to be nothing? 10 arrows, that's about as nothing as you can get there. So there is pendant for Lin there. Not too excited about that, but it does mean that he does have a little bit of knowledge. Werf is just gonna clean up some loose ends here. Now, hopefully, this pod key that he's about to get will will remind him, hey, you really want to go back up there as quickly as you possibly can.
Yeah, I hope this is. I don't know how many other options that he has at this point. He's kind of been prioritizing a lot of odds and ends versus, really making that commitment to get back to Pod here. But maybe getting a fourth small key out of this will be enough to kind of push him in that direction. Looks like he's going to go ahead and he has not done the other checks here in Turtle Rock either, so he's going to continue back and route backwards through Turtle Rock and pick up the big key chest and the Chain Chomp's room that we saw from Lin earlier. Meanwhile, Lin is going to go ahead and start putting that mirror to work here and check out what is on the Light World equivalent of Bumper Cave. Not finding much there. But he's going to be able to take that and those gloves and start seeing a lot of new entrances, both in this area and as he works his way south through the world. For a small key that he probably really didn't actually need all that much, having already found 3 of them and having found all of the other entrances. Meanwhile, Lin finds Hype Cave over here. So this is the last of our really big item entrances. It's Red Boomerang and our Swamp Small Key. That's an important one there. So that is pretty big for Lin to have. Once we find, we still need to find the dam, but that will open up the full swamp experience for him whenever we do unlock that. Meanwhile, werfjig completing his time here in Turtle Rock, setting up the Death Warp, while Lin retraces back to get his 10 arrows from Sick Kid here. So we'll see where werfjig ends up heading from here, as Lin's going to make his way over to Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb and get those entrances checked as well.
All right, this looks like he's heading back towards Pod because this goes up to the mountain through the bottom of Paradox Cave, and that'll probably push him up there.
Yeah, I think this is almost certainly there's not a lot else to come back to the mountain for at this point for werfjig, so I think Pod is definitely where he's going to end up going here.
Now, where did we find that Swamp Small there? Was that in...
That was in Hype Cave over at one of the glove-locked entrances just south of, or just next to Bumper Cave.
Oh boy! All right, so we got some things to do now. Good thing for Werf. That doesn't sound like it's particularly hard to get to once you save and quit from Old Man, and he is now back in Pod. So he's gonna get everything now with 4 keys. He can even go ahead and open up the big key chest there. As Lin's gonna go ahead, he's gonna activate this flute real quick. But oh no!
See. Oh,
does Werf not have the Pod big key?
Oh no, I don't know if he. Yeah, because that was at the desert entrance there, and I don't remember seeing him make it back there. So he may not He may not get that glove here. Oh, that is very important. I did not.
And we are very close to that actually being the logically first glove. So that could be disastrous here.
Right. Maybe there's a chance that the mirror directs us in or points us in the direction of that other glove. And then, if he finds that, then, having already found Meyer access and everything like that, there's a possibility that that having mitts may not be as much of a disadvantage in this seed. But yeah, without having that or having the glove at the same time that Lin has it, and knowing that it locks things like the Swamp's Maul in particular, that could be. If we don't find that other glove soon for Worf, that could be a pretty big disadvantage.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like that's just a bottle there in the pod big key chest, so not really gonna help him too much. So now we start to wonder if that second glove or first glove or whatever glove is going to show up here for Worf, because Lin is going to be able to start making up that dungeon advantage pretty quick. He's going to be checking. I mean, at this point, Lin can check everything that is not mitts locked.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of mitts lock checks at this point. I mean, there's just because we have access to Meyer area and the mirror. It's really just Ice Palace and Hammer Pegs that are mitts locked this seed.
Well, Turtle Rock entrance too, but yeah, I mean, basically, yeah, that's about it. Like you said, it's not a huge amount here. Worth having. This can be a surprisingly difficult trick to hit at times there, because you always feel like you have to go further down. When you've got to place the Samaria block and then you go down to a low pixel there and dash up. If you do that, you'll dash through the switches there without any problem. But a lot of times, as Worf picks up his mirror and shows his excitement about that, and okay, so that's just a pod key in the Thieves Down big chest, so that's kind of nice. Yeah. But yeah, if you go too far down when you're doing that trick there, you're gonna have some issues there. So yeah, that's 6 pod keys into logic at this point, I think, which might mean that's our first glove in. Yeah,
I do believe that at this point, all of our pod keys that we found now are in logic. So yeah, that ain't
good. That's really not good for Worf.
It is not.
I guess if you're gonna be leaving basically 2 items in pod, usually you're completely okay with that. It's whatever.
Right, and given how long it took Worf to make it back over here to begin with, you can't imagine that he's going to be really blitzing over here once he finds that big key, compared to all of the other things that the mirror is going to unlock for him. He may think that is the logical key out of everything here, as well as the big keys that he's gotten to Hera, which we have seen, and to Ice Palace, and he may go chasing those as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's really where it is. It's just kind of unfortunate thing there. I mean, it's the Crosskeys mantra of, oh, you didn't check this one thing. Hey, guess what? That's where your progression was. And oh wait, oh no, yeah, that is our only. That's our only glove.
Yeah, that is. That's a big find for Lin there, getting getting the mitts out of Spike Cave there. So yeah, you're not gonna sequence break that glove, and it may be pretty close to a last location for werfjig to get back there and pick up those first set of gloves out of pod. Once he does make his way to, as he sees that he left the TR big key up there on top of Spectacle Rock, right next to his mirror spot. So we'll go back and get that, but the gloves are presenting a much bigger issue at this point.
Yeah, at this point, the advantage has just swung to Lin's side so unbelievably hard. He checked that one desert entrance. That desert entrance is got the pod big key in it, which is locking Werf's glove, which is locking Werf's mitts. It's there's always a chance that something could come up, because I mean, like, the thing is, we do need the fire rod, but we don't know where that is at this point. We have no idea where that fire rod is.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, there are still plenty of little gotchas that could pop up here, but you have to think with the advantage that the gloves give in terms of exploration of the world, that Lin does have a big advantage at this point, despite being slightly behind in crystals at this time.
Well, and even then, he's not going to be behind in crystals for very long. Like, 'cause he's we're about to find. Well, he might not be behind in crystals for very long, as he's about to fight Moldorm here. We're going to get our last little bit of information between the two runners of what exactly our crystals are for the day. Takes out Moldorm very quickly, and we're going to find out that, for one, Moldorm is holding just a compass, which, whatever. And that is our last crystal. So Ice Palace is not going to be something we need to do today, because that looks, if we are 100% correct on this, that means Ice Palace is our last pendant.
Yeah, and I do believe that werfjig found the swamp map and checked it as well, so I do believe that is correct on the tracker's side there. Which means, at this point, we need a fire rod and a dam entrance, I think, on Lin's side to be in go mode.
And the thing is at some point you kind of think probably Lin can find the dam, and there's a good chance that Swamp will have our fire rod, if we're being completely honest here. That just seems like something that happens. As to the witch's hut, we drop off the smiths here with a nice easy flute too. Find out if these guys have our fire rod or something here. Nope, that's just going to be a big 20.
But once we find that dam location, then then Lin's going to be able to just pretty much be, going through and clearing a bunch of dungeons here, and could find that fire rod somewhere in the left side or in the back of Mire. Could find it in Swamp Palace. There's a number of places that one item could show up, but there's also several that are locked by it as well. So he won't have the world's worst search for that fire rod if it comes down to it.
Yeah, true. The question for Werf goes, like the best case scenario I can see for Werf right now is, I don't really see this happening, but I mean the best case scenario for him is he finishes up Desert here, saves and quits, goes to Old Man, picks up his small key to Swamp and such like that, activates his flute and goes down and checks the desert main connector.
I don't think he's going to even be able to get that Swamp Small, though, because I believe that was one of the glove.
Oh, that's behind the glove. You're right. Yep. You're right. Okay, well, the best
I think the best case is that he goes and explores goes to Mire area and explores the mirror-locked desert entrances, finds that big key, and then maybe on a lark or something makes his way back to Pod at some point here in the near future.
Yeah, you're right. That would probably be the more likely thing. That's awful, man. So which one do you want to do? You want to do purple chest, or do you want to do? That's a disgusting choice to have to make there between abandoning your purple chest or following Spiral Cave. Yeah. That's one you just mark as, all right, I'll come back to that later.
Yep. Yeah, you hope, especially in Lin's case, being really one item from Go mode, that you just never end up seeing that one again.
Yeah, so what do we got here? Hookshot or Fire Rod on Ped could be... that would actually save...
Oh, that's true. We do need a hookshot, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that would save Werf at this point, but we're kind of... It's with Lin at this point, it's watching him go through his checks right now, being really really thorough, being really efficient with everything. Just trying to find out exactly what else, where the dam is. I kind of feel like the dam is going to be our next really big find as we leave behind the purple chest to go and dash over to where Gary is.
As our tracker points out, that, you know, we could potentially have the dam locked behind the Ether Medallion as well, which does lock both of our 2 medallion entrances. But other than that, Lin at this point has access to, I think, every entrance in the game other than the back of Skull Woods, which is still fire rod locked. So yeah, there's a lot of places that he can make his way over to and search for that dam entrance, and we'll see when and where he finds it, or if it is indeed locked behind one of the other items that we have yet to come across.
See, yeah, that's the thing about this, is just like he can get everything. He's getting Bombo's tablet, he's getting everything. One thing bringing brought up in chat there is nobody has been to Catfish yet, because those gloves were very awkwardly locked, and well, there's Ether Medallion, so that's gonna just that's gonna give us the Misery Mire thing here, so that takes away one of the other things for
the game got a little confused on which medallion to put there, but yeah, that does open up 2 more entrances for Lin at this point, and you know, once Lin finds that fire rod, that will put him in 100%, you know, access mode for all of the entrances in the game.
And this is where the game has started to get interesting here, because we've had Lin coming through Misery Mire here. Now, he did at some point pick up a 3rd Misery Mire key, which means that the items on the left side, the fire-locked items here in Misery Mire, are 100% in logic. And so that's where and Werf showing us exactly where he got that 3rd key. That was timely, thank you.
Yep. So we will get our first look at these, the fire lock checks here in Mire, as well as the item that's going to be on Vitreous after this. See if the game is following the old rule of fire, where one fire item locks the other one, but for the moment, just a map over there in the compass chest as werfjig drops into his Moldorn fight here in Tower of Hera and takes him down.
I think if it turns out that Bombos is locked here in that cutscene chest, at that point I start thinking, okay, yeah, we probably need to find Ice Palace too.
Yeah, that is true.
We'll see though, as pushing around some blocks there, as Werf is holding up his 4th crystal right now. So, I mean, Werf definitely behind the 8 ball here with that glove location, but still making progress as quickly as he pretty much possibly can.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to see the cutscene chest here from Misery Mire as werfjig makes his way down to K45. Or no, I guess he's not. Okay. But yeah, we're gonna see Vitreous kill here from Lin, and we'll see where werfjig ends up going here. He may be going down to Misery Mire as well, now having that lamp in hand. So we could get a little bit of a dungeon high five from our 2 runners here.
And yeah, at this point, it's just, where is this dam gonna be?
Yeah, we've got two glove locked entrances over at the Dark Shopping Mall and Ice Rod Cave area that Lin will have access to when he makes his way over there. We'll have Ice Palace entrance to check that Lin will have access to with those mitts. Potentially one of the 2 entrances up on top of Dark Death Mountain that we have not seen yet, with Turtle Rock and the Hookshot Cave entrance. So there are a few different options available, but unfortunately all of those options are right now only available to Lin, having gotten the glove out of Pod and then the mitts that were locked behind that glove from Spike Cave.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, you kind of think Werf is starting to run out of places where he can find, he can go, he can check. So that desert entrance, so after this, I imagine maybe Werf goes over, he checks Bombo's tablet, right? And at that point, you've already got the book out. You're right next to the desert. You continue a little bit on. You get that pod big key as Lin has taken down Vitreous. That pod big key could lead to him getting what he needs here. Yeah, I don't know though. It is looking a bit shaky, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can see a world where werfjig makes it over there soon and gets that pod big key. It's tougher to see a world where he really feels the need to go back to pod and break in there and get that glove out of the big chest. Probably one of the few outs he's got at this point is maybe like an item being on Helmasaur that Lin left behind or something like that he might make it to sooner, but yeah, it's really tough to imagine a world where werfjig is really incentivized to make it back to pod just for those big chest or the big key lock checks.
Yep, nope, very true. And this time Lin is just showing exactly why one of the reasons why he won last year's tournament here. He's just motoring through this seed very efficiently. They're getting all of the checks, not really doing things, he waited on Thieves Town until he had the big key, until he had the small key to put it all into logic. I mean, everything he's done today has just kind of like stacked up, so he's now about to finish Skull Woods, which is going to be his 5th crystal as well, putting both of the runners equal on crystal counts, but more importantly here, is going to make it so that he is got the knowledge and just basically the check lead at this point.
This really does feel like advantage Lin, and kind of characteristic to the style that he played with last year and that he's known for. He is being extremely thorough in efficiently clearing the game here. He's already kind of made his way through basically effectively all of the south of the overworld here and cleared all of that out, and he's going to continue on and cleaning up these final few entrances that he has left around the world here, looking for the dam, and eventually he's going to find that hookshot and that fire rod. But yeah, he is not leaving many loose items or orphan checks behind at this point.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. It's just like there's not. Lin's kind of making sure that there's not really any obvious outs for Werf to kind of get back into, right? Like he might not be super excited that he's starting to get close to that 2 hour point, and he's still missing 2 large items right now, meaning that they can be in some very awkward, very kind of not so good situations. All right, now Werf is about to pick up the pod big key here, so he's at least step 1 to kind of getting back into this.
Yeah, so this is good for Werf, and I wouldn't be shocked if we see a couple of rage slashes from him when he finds that in there, having already double dipped pod, and we know at least, being required to make a 3rd trip back there at some point here.
And we are yeah, and it looks like those mitts haven't really locked anything. So he picks up the big key to pod right now, and I don't know what else Werf really has to check right now outside of that. So it's got to be things I'm not thinking of, but
yeah, I don't think he has done any of the desert ledge or checkerboard checks yet. Which we did have access to that through one of the Hyrule Castle connectors, and he may be going up to check that here climbing up to the top of Pyramid where one of the other Hyrule Castle entrances was. So it's possible that he could be making his way over to Desert area to check those here shortly.
Oh, we have found our dam, and what looks like it was locked there. Locked behind behind this thing. Was that locked behind the Misery Mire main entrance, or was that locked behind yeah, that was locked behind the dam, the Misery Mire main entrance. So that's going to open that up for Werf as well. Yeah,
he just got that ether off of the Bombos tablet as well. So he will get access to the dam as well here.
Wait a minute. Do we need glove?
We do, because we need that swamp small key.
Oh, that's right. Oh, that is
the one thing that we were guaranteed to need gloves for, at least.
Yeah, okay. For a second there, I kind of was sitting here trying to decide. It's like, wait, do we actually need this? As oh no, Werf didn't check the. Werf didn't get the. Did Werf get the dam?
I don't believe he did. I think he just checked the checkerboard and the two west and north desert entrances. So no, he's going to orphan that dam there as well, which is unfortunate to see.
Well, so at this point, I guess we're gonna over on Lin's side, probably gonna go flute to wherever the Swamp Palace is, and maybe start heading our way through that. Thing is, there's not really awesome options at this point. I think probably the worst thing for either of these runners to maybe find would be the GT Big Key.
Yeah, at that GT Big Key would not be pleasant. Have we run into Ice Palace at all during this? I can't remember if we have or not. Maybe
we have not. As Lin picks up his butter sword there as the first chest, and now if we have not run into Ice Palace, I'm trying to think of possible places it could be. So and what I'm thinking is maybe that's gonna be the back of Skullwood. Oh, there's a fun option. The small key to Tower of Hera. The back of Skull Woods possibly could be ice. It could be locked behind GT as well. I mean, if it's a pendant, then it could be locked behind all of the crystals.
Yeah, that is true as well. Yeah, we've got the two entrances that we haven't seen up on top of Dark Death Mountain. I think we found. I don't think we found the connector to the Turtle Rock Bridge either. So that would leave. Well, we've seen Mimic Cave, so I guess that's out anyway, because that was the old man save and quit point. But yeah, I still don't think I don't remember seeing a connector up to the Turtle Rock Bridge.
I mean, we do have Bombos, so I mean, it could very easily be both items are in very awkwardly placed Ice Palace. Now, Werf is going to a place that Lin was not able to get because he had the purple chest with him. So we're about to go through Bombos, not Bombos, but through Spiral Cave. I always mark it with Bombos. And I'm kind of expecting this to go on to the Turtle Rock Bridge. I think this is I think that's kind of got to be where this is going to spit out, because I think we've seen everything else.
Yeah, that is a good point there.
And yep, sure enough, there we are. And that's just a piece of heart, unfortunately. Fortunately or unfortunately for the runners there, there's nothing in there. But we're gonna go into this other entrance, and we will find nothing.
Yeah. So. No real harm there to Lin leaving that connector or that item behind. Yeah, nothing up here on either side in Light World or Dark World from this bridge that Lin's going to be missing out on here.
And at this point, I imagine what's going through Werf's head is something kind of like, what am I missing? I'm missing one thing. How do I not have gloves? I'm almost 2 hours in. How have I not found a single glove yet?
Yeah, and it's not even that he, did anything wrong here with, when he got to that pod, or to that desert entrance check. It was just a matter of, it happened that his routing left that one entrance out when he did his earlier desert play because he didn't have the book at that time, and it being an isolated check that's a pretty long walk away, it was just not something that was a priority for him before getting back to Pod. So it's nothing that he did wrong. It's just meanwhile, Lynn over there on the left side of Swamp has found one of our pieces of Go mode access there in the Fire Rod. So now he is just a hookshot away from being in Go at this point.
So hookshot on Trinex, or hookshot locked on right side of GT.
Boy, that GT play feels a little spicy right now, but yeah.
Really want to do that? Do I have anything else to do? Do I really want to do that? And you go, yeah, I think I have to do that.
Yeah, it would not be. I would not be shocked to see him make his way back to GT here real soon. Just given the now 5 items that he'll be able to get from going to the right side and to the big chest there. And now having those additional, 3 items up at the top of the climb available to him as we get the big key to Swamp Palace, which I'm sure he'll be real enthusiastic about going back for.
Oh boy, we're starting to get some real comedy options here with that. So now let's see here. On top of everything else that we could possibly find, I mean, the GT right side seems like the most likely. And here let's go Ice Palace as well.
Yeah, you just knew that Ice Palace was going to show up there after seeing the GT Big Key and the Swamp Big Key. We've still got that outstanding Hera Basement check, of course. We've got some real fun options right now for Lynn as he's searching for that hookshot.
Yep. So okay, we're gonna start working our way through here now. We actually, I'm kind of funnily, we don't actually have any small keys to Ice Palace yet. So don't even ask me about what the logic in Ice Palace is at this point. I mean, the logic in Ice Palace is messy at the best times. So Lynn apparently knows Ice Palace, his Ice Palace logic better than me, because he just decides that, nope, can't be there, don't have a single Ice Palace small key yet. Can't be here, don't have an Ice Palace.
I think he may also be checking the right side chest here and then working his way back up, because, I don't know. He may be doing this by logic. Yeah, that does look like what he's doing. Mm-hmm. But yep, based on the keys that we found so far, by which I mean none of them, then yeah, it does feel very unlikely that that hookshot is going to be over there on the right side.
Yep. So, let's see what we got here. Yeah, Lynn just playing this at this point. Like, what are the scenarios here? As there it is in the Ice Palace big chest right now. So that is going to put Lynn into go mode here at 2 hours and basically a minute and 20 seconds, something like that. So we're on our way back to Swamp Palace, and man, this end is going to be very, very quickly as Werf takes a minute to talk to our good friend, get a nice poem.
Well, the good news, bad news is that werfjig is going to go back in here and get his glove before Lynn finishes. The bad news is that there's really no path to victory with Lynn being in go mode here and only having one dungeon left to clear. But it is. I'm sure you're going to see some rage slashes here from werfjig as he discovers that his first logical glove being back here in the big chest of pod that he found, close to 45 minutes ago, back when he did not have the pod big key in hand.
Yeah, no, for Lynn, we're gonna maybe check one or two of those. Of these chests on the way.
Yeah, I think he might be looking for a quick and free silvers. That's really about the only thing that would be of any use to him at this point. for speeding up that Ganon fight that he's going to have here in a minute. But yeah, werfjig gets that glove, nopes out of there, and he has a bevy of options open to him now. I don't think. Well, he doesn't really need mitts for anything, I guess.
No, mitts were completely useless, which is kind of standard practice for this, but
yeah, and he is going to get out of here and get that Swamp Small Key pretty soon. But he is not going to have enough time to make up to get and find his way to that Fire Rod or up to Ice Palace again to get the hook shot out of the big chest.
I mean, to be honest, Werf's not like super far behind. He's probably got about 10 minutes left of gameplay in front of him. If he goes directly to Swamp after getting the Swamp Small here, as Lin just rips all of those little puffs off of Argus here, takes him down real quick.
Yeah, another gorgeous boss kill, made possible by Gold Sword and Lin's excellent execution. As he collects his 7th crystal, Ganon has been hiding out this whole time in plain sight.
Yeah, this is going to be a nice, easy. Lin's literally just going to take a right turn out of the library here and just run directly up the rest of the way to it. Or we're going to flute to 3, because I guess that's probably just a tiny bit faster.
Yeah.
Gotta save that probably 3 seconds difference. It's probably closer to 10, but whatever.
Yeah.
Either way, Lin's jumping into Ganon right now. So we're gonna go through he's got Gold Sword, no Silver Arrows today, so we're gonna have to spin to win today. But between this and the previous tournament here, I don't think Lin's gonna have any problem.
Yeah, I think he does know his way around a silverless fight here. So yeah, we're gonna be already on to phase 3 here. We'll be watching Ganon warp around for a little bit, and then we will find out where those silver arrows were. Comedy option will be it's one of the 2 chests that he passed up in Ice Palace due to knowing his hookshot logic. But
I would enjoy that. That would be kind of funny. But I mean, honestly, it wouldn't be it's not a huge difference having silver arrows versus doing a good phase 4 Ganon, and it was in GT anyway, so we weren't gonna go for those.
Yeah, no, not once we found that Ice Palace. So yeah, already about 3 spins down here for Lin, and then 9 more, and he will claim victory here in round 1 of this tournament. Meanwhile, werfjig is still exploring Swamp Palace. He will get his Fire Rod here in just a second from the west chest over on left side Swamp. But unfortunately, Lin about to claim victory here in this one.
It looks like probably just maybe 1 or 2 spins left here. Ganon, a couple of those weren't in the great best position, but there it goes. Ganon is exploding. Lin's waiting until the sword is up to hold up. As soon as he crosses through that door, he's going to take round 1 of this Swiss tournament, move to 1-0 on this, and we'll be finding out our next opponents here pretty soon as Lin goes ahead and crosses the line, and that is going to be a time of 2 hours, 6 minutes, and looks to be around 44 seconds there for Linlinlin. Get your GGs into chat for him, and yeah, and that is going to be that. Well, that was a fun way to spend an evening here. As that was a good race there. It was kind of unfortunate for Werf that just happened to miss that one.
Yeah, it really was. It really was a race that turned all on that pod big key and that one entrance down at Desert Main. And it's really unfortunate because, like I said earlier, it's not that werfjig did anything wrong there. It was just that he did that loop of entrances earlier in the seed and without the book in hand. And because of that entrance being isolated and having that big key, it meant that glove got isolated up until past the 2 hour mark for him. So it's just really kind of an unfortunate series of events there that kind of cascaded and led to him falling behind in this one.
100% there. Yeah, just kind of an unfortunate series of events, like you said, as we're now joined in the commentary booth here by Linlinlin, our winner today. How you doing there, bud? GG's.
Hello, GG's. I feel good. I mean, coming into that game, like, as a defending champion, always like add additional pressure for sure. And werfjig is like, he's been improving a lot lately, so like definitely not someone I can like underestimate. Like, and anything can happen in Crosskeys, so like,
yeah, certainly a very good race from you. We saw some really efficient routing. Obviously, we were discussing right before you joined the call, but the big kind of moment that turned this race was you having the pod big key when you went into Palace of Darkness and getting the gloves out of the big chest there, in addition to all of the other goodies that were in there, the mirror.
I don't even remember what that big key was, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so that was at the Mire Shed location down at Desert Entrance. And werfjig had gone to that spot, or gone down to the desert checks earlier in the seed, but did not have the book at that time to route those in.
Oh.
So it really, the whole race kind of turned on that. Before that, it was back and forth. He had kind of cleared a couple of dungeons ahead of you, whereas you were getting, through a few more entrances and a few more items a little bit more efficiently. But that was really the moment once we saw the gloves there, and then the mitts being locked behind the gloves so that he wouldn't be able to get those. That was really when we kind of saw the race turn for you.
I felt like the mid game was super slow. Oh god, sorry. Because I never read the pedestal. I just know it's on the pedestal right now. That's no. Okay, you'll see if you didn't know if werfjig read it.
We haven't seen yet, yeah. So now I'm curious.
Exactly.
You switched to the interview screen when I can.
When it pops up here, let's see. Okay, and it is the
powder. Oh no!
With just his magic bat was in the lumberjack as well, so
yeah.
Okay, no, I felt like the mid game was kind of slow. Like, you have boots, but you don't have a sword I didn't have a sword for a while. Like, I could have gone to GT earlier, but like, I was kind of struggling with magic. That's why I didn't go for the back of escape early. Like, I have half a magic bar. If I don't find the rat, I'm just screwed. So I just put that off. Let's put it like this.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting as it doesn't look like werf's gonna get his hook shot here. Well, at least not quite yet. So yeah, I wanted to ask about the end game there actually. Okay, so Trinex, you killed Trinex. He drops the GT big key. And you go in, of course, you check TR and stuff. You find Ice Palace there. Like, when he drops that big key, what were your thoughts at that point? Were you going, oh god, it's in the tower, or what were you kind of thinking here?
Not really. I was actually focusing on trying to find Ice Palace for sure at this point. That was what I wanted to do, and like that front of TR being where it was, because like getting there was kind of a pain. I was like, I can go to the front of TR, check this rock that I never checked because I never had the glove, check Turtle Rock, and I still have like the TR bridge as well. But like I still have a few entrances where I can find Ice Palace, so I was gonna focus on Ice Palace for now. Even though there are 3 checks in Ice Palace that are hard hookshot lock, and that's why I didn't open the chest. Aside from the one that had half magic, I was like, that was kind of lucky, but it was like kind of on my way.
Whoa,
Yeah.
spoilers.
So we'll take a moment here and welcome in werfjig, who has joined us in the interview room as well. GG's, werfjig.
GG's.
Yeah, so that pod big key really just kind of jumped out to really mess you up on this one, unfortunately.
I mean, I felt messed up way before that, but yeah, I don't know if you remember. I think as soon as I went in the pod the second time to collect all my items, I knew that I was hosed, and I kind of lost focus.
Well, you weren't.
You're not that far behind. I
you really weren't that far behind Lynn getting up there.
You're like the end of the seed is just like you just got the fire rod. If you kill Trinex, you're on the map.
Hold on.
Huh? Like you're not that far behind. I'll so like.
But yeah, I think if you noticed, I did a lap around the map. I thought that hookshot. I didn't mark because I wanted to go to pod. I think this is actually before I got there, but I wanted to go to pod earlier. Are these hookshot locked? I wanted to go to pod earlier, but I did not mark the location where you come out from the back end of Hookshot Cave.
Right.
So I thought it was Hookshot Cave. So
yeah, we did notice that you took the extra trip up to the Pyramid Fairy spot, which was an interesting choice at the time.
Yeah, but I don't know. I wasn't all there today.
Yeah,
I think I started off pretty strong. I had never.
You definitely did.
I had never done that Aga Dark Room before, and I just said, "Let's do it live," you know. So that was kind of humorous.
I had the same thing here. Like I only had half my magic. I had the red mail already, and like.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I want to go. I don't want to go.
Also, it's very clutch. Oh, hey, look at that. It's very clutch, but I didn't realize that I was so low on bombs in Mini Mortal Cave. So when I dropped the last one, I was panicking.
That was some big game in there. Yeah. Clearing out Mini Mordor with 3 bombs in your pocket was real impressive, and we saw you go right back to the upgrade fairy immediately after that. And it's like, I'm glad he didn't do that, full of regret there after not being able to clear Mini Mordor. So
yeah, that was big gaming, but entirely on accident. But no.
Yeah, I mean, you were both kind of, it was a very neck and neck race throughout the early and even through the mid part of the seed, because Lynn was late to even find pod earlier, shortly after getting the Moon Pearl, but at the time you had 0 keys. Yep. So we were kind of wondering when you were going to make your way back up there, and when Lynn was going to make his way over there to find it, because it felt like to us, yeah, it really felt as we started seeing you guys clear out, Eastern and Mire and back at Thieves Town, it started feeling like, yeah, this is really like the one item dense place that we've got left that we haven't seen from either runner.
Yeah, and my like I said, I kind of, once I found pod and found all those items, I kind of like lost my train of thought. My routing around the overworld became extremely inefficient, and I think at one point like I'd forgotten that Mire even existed.
Yeah, so we did note that, which of course was pretty important given what was behind the Mire entrance there. But we saw you clean that up as well.
Where was the pod big key again? I don't remember.
That was at the Desert Main entrance.
There you go.
Yeah. And I think when you went down to Desert, you I don't remember if you had the book or not at that point, but you chose to go through the connector through Desert East entrance there at the M Cave screen, and ended up following that through to find your Moon Pearl a bit earlier, but it did mean that leaving that check behind, which proved pretty fateful in the end.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Daze, do you have anything else for either of our 2 runners?
Well, I was just gonna say, that's gonna. I mean, we're basically at the end of basically week 1 of the Swiss tournament here. Lynn, you're gonna move to 1-0. There's a ton of people there who are 1-0. Werf, you're 0-1, so not by any means out of it quite yet. quite yet. And we're gonna, if I remember right, there's only like one more race this week or something, or until we get to find out our matchups for next week.
I know that I don't know if there are any races currently ongoing, but I know that the last race of the week starts in about a little less than 2 hours here. I don't believe that there is a restream scheduled for it, but
And there is actually a restream scheduled for Zero Rush vs. Spend, which is literally happening right now on ZSR2. That's our raid target. Just letting you all know.
Thank you.
But aside from that, I don't see anything else on the schedule. I also wanted to bring up, just for anyone joining late, obviously, everyone here in the call knows what the Swiss format is, but if we could just get end of match refresh on how the Swiss format works for the people joining in late.
Definitely. So the Swiss format means that each runner, or each week of the tournament for the 8 weeks that this will be running, you will be paired off against runners at the same record. Obviously, for week 1, the matches were seeded based off results of last year's tournament and ladder Crosskeys rankings. Beyond this, it will be effectively random based on how well you think the pairing algorithm works on challenge. But each week, runners will be paired off against runners at their same record and continue all the way through all 8 weeks of the tournament. After that point, the top 16 runners will participate in a bracket to narrow down a champion for the tournament this year. So even at 0-1, there is still plenty of time to climb back up and work your way up through against some other runners and potentially make your way into brackets.
That's my Swiss tournament. Oh, sorry. You speak.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Fine.
So the Swiss format is also amazing for handling super huge tournaments. I believe this tournament had something like 150 entrants, which is super awesome to see.
168.
168 was another, yeah. Insane turnout. Absolutely insane turnout.
Yeah, it was initially capped at 100. So overwhelming with people signing up on the very first day that they expanded it up even beyond what had initially been planned. So, good news for everyone out here watching on the ZSR channels. More Crosskeys, more fun to come over the next 7 weeks and then on into the bracket stages as well.
Or, right now, because, we got a raid target that's playing, Actually, no, sorry, no, not Cross... Oh my god, I completely misread the schedules here. Yes, you're totally right. There is a match in 2 hours from now, and the match that's happening ZSR2 right now is a Challenge Cup match. Sorry, completely misread the schedule there, misread the road.
Yeah, I believe that is the semifinals of the Challenge Cup that
that is the semifinals of the Zero Rush vs. Spend. Yeah, sorry about that. That is me misreading the schedule. Hey, close enough, right?
Yep.
But yeah, that match later on is Hitaka versus Telefar. So that is, as far as I can see on the schedule, the last scheduled match. So that'll likely be the last restream of round 1. Aside from that, I do also wanna shout out that the Windbreaker Randomizer Season 4 tournament is still ongoing. There's a bunch of matches this week. There's 3 matches on Thursday. And 2 matches on Friday. So if you want to see all of that, you can type !scale. I believe Nornate already did it earlier. I'll do it again, and you can see the entire ZSR schedule. But yeah, aside from that, I also want to give a huge shout out to our commentators today. I know, shouting yourself out is a little bit sometimes awkward. So Days Cloud and Will, you did absolutely awesome today. Thank you so much. And also our trackers, thank you so much. To if it would load, I have terrible memory, by the way. I'm so sorry.
Tofile and say Ryu X
covered me on my bad memory. Sorry, I was looking for the tracking command, and it just wasn't. I deal with 100 people every month. I'm so sorry. That's just here. There you go. Let's actually put them straight in chat again. What?
So big shout out to them. They were looking out for us tonight in definitely correcting us and keeping us on the same page here. Really appreciate them helping us out, devoting a couple hours of their evening to making this all work for us. And George, thank you as well for manning the restream tonight. We really appreciate it as well.
No problem. And I did find out why the command was broken. I was set to the wrong command group. There you go. Shout out to the trackers.
Yeah, and big thing there. If anybody is interested in jumping in and helping out with commentary or tracking, yeah, go ahead and follow the link in the Discord there to the Discord, and we can help you get set up with stuff there. You can probably get the roles. We can, because I mean, basically, if you like watching Crosskeys, a lot of this is going to be we need people to help do the commentary and help do the tracking. And if we get that, there's probably a decent chance we can get more of these races on for people to watch. So if you're interested in volunteering, please join in, help us all out there. And I guess with that, I'll say GG's to the runners here, and I'm just gonna be quiet and let you guys have finish up.
Right, I think in that case, it's only appropriate if we leave the two runners with the final words of the day. So it's been an awesome day, folks, and I'm gonna pass it straight to Dace sorry, not Dace, sorry, to Linlinlin and Werf for the final words of the day.
I mean, I'm an admin of the tournament now, so thanks everyone for participating. Like, we weren't expecting to be this crowded, let's put it like this, and week 1 was a breeze. It went very well so far, and we're only having one game down, and we still have 24 hours left normally. So, thanks to all the runners for this first week. That went very smoothly.
Yeah, shoutouts to all the runners for scheduling their matches and actually playing them. But yeah, GG's again, Lynn, and Dazed and Will. I hope you didn't talk too bad about me because I'm gonna watch this back for sure. Unfortunately, it's really easy to see why I lost, so maybe I don't need to watch the run back. But it was a lot of fun. I'm excited to play 6 more of these, and yeah, GG's again, and good luck in the next match.
Alright, folks. Catch you next time.